It's hard to believe, but a company in China hired 85 employees who all turned out to be scammers. A new kind of scam has emerged in China. These salary scam gangs have targeted businesses, defrauding them of amounts ranging from tens of millions to hundreds of millions of yuan, causing great distress to the employers. According to multiple reports from Chinese media, the Pudong New District People's Procuratorate of Shanghai recently handled a major case involving a group that committed a salary scam. Over the past few years, this scam group has recklessly targeted numerous small and medium-sized enterprises in Shanghai, causing many businesses to halt operations or even go bankrupt. So what exactly happened? Reports indicate that since 2020, a group led by individuals named Yang and Tao has been joining companies by faking educational qualifications and work experiences. They created false records of client visits to appear as if they were diligently working for the companies and then receive base salaries and reimbursement for business expenses. When these companies realized that these employees did not contribute any actual performance and wanted to dismiss them, some of the scammers tried to delay their dismissal. They claimed they were actively looking for clients or that clients are about to make payments, allowing them to continue drawing salaries. In total, more than 260 companies have fallen victim to the scam, with losses amounting to over 35 million yuan. In this group of scammers, a woman named Guan with only a high school education and her husband have joined over 100 companies in Shanghai over the years. Ms. Guan stated that at one point, each of them was working part-time in over 10 companies each month, earning over 200,000 yuan per month. Her husband, Xu, managed to work at 197 different organizations over the course of more than 2 years, earning nearly 2 million yuan in salaries. Prosecutor Xue from the Pudong New District Procuratorate in Shanghai said that reviewing the records of the companies falling victim to the scam made him increasingly disheartened. He described a particularly troubling case where a company from outside Shanghai established a subsidiary and hired 85 sales staff, all of whom turned out to be professional scammers with falsified resumes. This not only paralyzed the company's sales operations and severely damaged its performance and reputation, but it also undermined the confidence in other businesses in Shanghai. Starting in October 2023, the Pudong New Area People's Procuratorate in Shanghai has successfully filed charges against criminal suspects in the serial professional salary scam case for fraud. As of now, 188 people have been charged and 178 of them have been sentenced. However, such cases are not new. An article published by the China Peace in June 2023 titled "Salary Scam Gang Busted, Couple Joins 300 Companies in 2 Years, Earning 600,000 Yuan Monthly" revealed a similar story. The article begins by describing a group of white-collar workers who drive luxury cars and shuttle between different office buildings daily just to collect base salaries. Despite earning over 200,000 yuan, they did not do any actual work. The article mentioned after investing in a new project, a financial company's boss, surnamed Shen, needed to recruit a group of sales staff. A man named Hong Kai quickly applied, impressing HR with his excellent resume and eloquent speech. Not only was he from the same hometown as Shen and appeared very competent in business, but Hong Kai also claimed to have connections with board members and senior management of listed companies. This seemed like a huge plus to Shen, who entrusted a 20 million yuan project to him. Hong Kai was employed with a base salary of 30,000 yuan monthly and a 20% commission, bringing 8 other sales staff with him to Shen's company. However, after they joined, HR discovered that their social insurance was not being paid on time. Hong Kai claimed that his former employer had settled the social insurance for that month and the current company would handle it the next month. Shen did not dwell on this as he was more concerned with Hong Kai's work performance. After joining, aside from attending regular meetings, these 9 individuals never clocked in. Although their work logs showed they were visiting clients daily, no client contracts were signed. 2 months passed, salaries totaling over 200,000 yuan were paid, but the promised performance by Hong Kai was never met. Eventually, a resignation certificate provided by one of the sales staff fully exposed the true nature of the group. Although the certificate was indeed from his previous employer, the dates of his employment almost exactly overlapped with his time at Shen's company. Feeling deceived, Shen reported the case to the Pudong police in Shanghai, leading to the exposure of a large-scale salary scam gang involving hundreds of individuals. Among them, Hong Kai only had a middle school education and had previously worked as an intermediary and sold insurance. He had been receiving salaries from about 10 companies each month for the past 2 years, with amounts ranging from a few thousand to 30,000 yuan and durations from 1 month to half a year. After an extensive investigation, the police determined that the situation between this group and the businesses involved was not a mere labor dispute but constituted criminal fraud. Investigators found that the scammers primarily targeted small and medium-sized financial companies which often lack the resources to conduct thorough background checks on job applicants. In contrast, large companies usually have strict background check policies, leaving no loophole for the scammers to exploit. Investigations have revealed that many companies were unaware they had been defrauded until after the employees had left. One business owner provided the police with a blacklist circulating in the financial industry, which included over 260 suspected salary scammers. You might already be thinking these scammers have got to be quite crafty. However, the real shocker has yet to come. Within this fraud ring, a woman named Xu Lingling and her husband engaged in even more audacious fraudulent activities than Hong Kai. Over the course of more than 3 years, the couple joined over 300 companies. At their peak, Xu Lingling was employed by 28 companies in a single month, collecting salaries from different companies nearly every day. The couple's monthly income exceeded 600,000 yuan. In just 3 years, they used the money they made from doing scams to buy a villa in Baoshan, Shanghai, truly earning them the title of career con artists. Xu Lingling's daily life quite literally revolved around attending interviews and being on the way to interviews. Her typical day began at 6 a.m., putting on makeup and leaving home by 7 a.m. By 8 a.m., she would check in at Company A, and by 9 a.m., she was already next door at Companies B and C for interviews. At 1 p.m., she crossed half of Shanghai to attend a meeting at Company D and then processed her resignation at Company E. Afterwards, she interviewed at Companies F and G. Her evenings were spent at various networking events in order to seek new company connections. Her busy days often ended in the early hours of morning, sometimes not getting home until 3 a.m., showcasing her exceptional time management skills. They also earned commissions by recruiting others to join their scam, forming groups to apply for jobs and deceive employers into paying base salaries. In a particularly striking case, a fund company unknowingly hired over 50 salespeople in one go, only to discover that all were part of a scam network. The HR manager of the fund company that was scammed said, "At that time, we wanted to try a new promotional model. We hired over 50 people, and when no clients came in after a month, we thought perhaps the model was unsuitable, never once suspecting that they were scammers." When Xu Lingling was arrested, she was still in the middle of an interview in Hangzhou. So how could Xu Lingling pull off the scam so effortlessly? She primarily targeted small-scale financial companies. When she presented a list teeming with high-net-worth clients, most company owners were reluctant to let her go, seeing the value she could potentially bring to their company. But how could such a scheme go unnoticed over a long period of time without any real work done in the companies? It turns out that these scammers have become quite experienced in their deceptive practices within this industry. They have even developed an entire supply chain of deceit. At the upper end, they forge bank statements and resumes for job applications. At the lower end, they employ numerous extras to pose as high net worth clients, ensuring their fraud scheme penetrates every stage effectively. Experienced operators like Xu Lingling were responsible for sharing interview techniques, providing opportunities, and fabricating documents. Their recruits would pretend to work and then kick back 20 to 50% of their salaries to their recruiters. This industry even detailed different roles and pricing for the lowest tier of extras. Answering background check calls cost 5 yuan each, attending product launches was 40 to 50 yuan, and appearing at contract negotiations was about 100 yuan. These extras were mostly retirees in their 50s and 60s who described their participation in these scams as earning some grocery money. So when employers started pressing for work progress, these scammers would summon their troupe of extras to pose as clients visiting the company. Unaware of the deceit, the company would host an elaborate product launch event to welcome these clients, some of whom were even seen stuffing fruit and sunflower seeds at the events into their pockets. A business owner with a similar experience shared that although these employees were hired just as the pandemic hit and got to enjoy 3 months of salaries without work, over 10 of them brought in clients soon after work resumed. These clients, ranging in age from 30 to 60, both men and women, all spoke fluent Shanghainese. They seemed interested in certain company projects during their visits, yet they rarely asked detailed professional questions. Some were not even concerned with the specifics of the projects, quickly taking contracts and claiming they would invest 10 million yuan. The business owner felt something was off, but initially dismissed his suspicions. That changed one morning when his assistant entered the office building and inadvertently saw a salesperson quietly scolding one of these clients in the stairwell. After the assistant came upstairs to report this, he finally realized they might be dealing with scammers. According to Chinese media reports, as of November 2023, Shanghai police have arrested over 161 suspects involved in these schemes, including Xu Lingling and her husband, as well as Hong Kai, with related losses exceeding 130 million yuan. Business owners have reported significant losses to the police, not only in terms of hundreds of thousands of yuan in wages, but also in missed sales opportunities and critical market timing. In some cases where employees detected the scams and terminated the deceptive employees, the scammers still successfully submitted their dismissals through labor arbitration and won. In a video, the owner of a company that had been scammed stated,
"He did nothing during his 2-month probationary period, and we fired him, but then he went to labor arbitration and won."
In the comment section, some highlighted, "Note this, he even won the arbitration, and it's outright a slap in the state's face," and "using bugs in the system for unjust gains." Other commented, "This kind of reverse maneuver can only trick non-regulated companies, and even genuine employees who seek arbitration can't guarantee they'll win." Another added, "We shouldn't promote this anymore. Actual labor arbitration is very difficult. It can drag on for a year or half a year, and these are for companies in the field. How can scammers possibly do the same? It means they must have lawyers or insiders advising." From these cases, it is evident that salary scammers may not have high educational qualifications, with some only having a middle school education. Yet, they manage to concurrently hold positions in over 10 companies a month, earning monthly salaries ranging from 100,000 to 200,000 yuan by exploiting companies' management gaps. Speaking of management gaps, an informed commenter on social media provided a detailed analysis. First, as previously mentioned, small companies often neglect background checks. An auditor among the commenters noted that he had audited several small companies with flawed internal controls. These businesses usually operate on limited budgets, and their management teams are often makeshift, focusing primarily on business operations while neglecting financial, personnel, and compliance issues. To cut costs, a single individual might handle accounting, HR, and administration, but they typically lack professionalism. As a result, these companies do not have the capability to perform thorough background checks and are hesitant to invest in professional third-party services. Such companies with weak personnel oversight are prime targets for these salary scam groups. These companies not only fail in conducting proper background checks, but also in maintaining strong day-to-day personnel management. A key area of concern is the payment of social insurance. The HR departments of these companies are lax in this area, failing to urge these fraudulent employees to handle their duties promptly, and may also prefer to save money by not paying social insurance. It is this mindset that when scammers voluntarily forego social insurance, companies readily fall for it. Additionally, some companies are eager to expand their business and are attracted to candidates who claim to bring their own resources. For instance, recruitment ads from some small companies specify rich industry resources preferred, or those with their own resources will be prioritized. These practices expose the companies to risks as they chase potential growth opportunities presented by such candidates. Someone commented and pointed out that these are typical freeloading companies. Their bosses, having limited resources themselves, aim to hire people at slightly above average salaries to tap into their new hires' client bases. Some small private equity firms, under pressure to show short-term performance, urgently seek funds to meet project commitments. Thus, these salary scammers exploit the eagerness of companies to quickly boost business and their tendency to cut corners, setting them up for deceit. But if you think about it, why would a candidate with an outstanding resume and a wealth of client resources just happen to land at your company? Additionally, the very nature of the business operations of these companies is somewhat insubstantial. Commenters have noted that the companies that are scammed are small financial companies, often referred to by the public as bluffing companies or scam companies. These businesses typically act as intermediaries selling financial products or investments without truly considering the consumer's best interests. Therefore, when these companies hire employees, they do not prioritize actual financial expertise. During interviews, they are more concerned with how soon the candidate can start, how much money they have handled, and how many clients they can bring in, without truly assessing the candidate's professional abilities. Thus, it is no surprise that even low-educated fraudsters can slip through without being exposed for their lack of professionalism. Therefore, for companies to avoid being scammed, they need to operate legitimately and manage their affairs rigorously, avoiding shortcuts for rapid growth. Otherwise, in their haste to succeed and make quick money, who else would they be cheated by if not themselves?